What mysteries does the Holy Grail hold? One of the most significant events recounted in the Bible is the Last Supper, where Jesus dined with the 12 disciples for the last time before he was crucified. The occasion has garnered significant attention in the Bible, with many focusing on the holy chalice or cup used to drink wine, which was also used to catch the blood of Jesus when he was pierced by a spear in the side. Thus, it is considered one of the rarest and most mysterious relics in the history of Christianity. According to legend, it is said to bestow extraordinary power on whoever possesses it. There is also a belief that whoever drinks from it will have a prolonged life. The Holy Grail has been the centerpiece of numerous legends and stories for centuries. The mystery of the Holy Grail continues to captivate the human imagination, inspiring researchers, writers, and devotees to explore its profound meaning and significance. First question: how did the story and mystery of the Holy Chalice begin? It is mentioned in the New Testament that before Jesus died, he gathered with the 12 disciples to celebrate the feast known as Passover. In the Old Testament, before the occurrence of the 10 plagues in Egypt, God commanded the Israelites to put lamb's blood on their doorposts as a sign so that the angel of death would pass over their homes and spare their firstborns. This event was called Passover because the plague passed over the houses of the Israelites. It remains one of the most important celebrations for the Hebrews back then and even for the Jews today. On that night, Jesus' disciples were with him for the Passover, during which the chalice was mentioned, marking the origin of the mystical legend. According to studies, the first mention of the chalice was in the 12th century in France. It was chronicled in the writings of Chrétien de Troyes in Perceval ou le Conte du Graal, which translates to Perceval, the Story of the Grail. This story revolves around a brave knight under King Arthur who embarked on a quest to find the chalice. According to Chrétien de Troyes' tale, the Holy Grail was believed to possess extraordinary powers. However, years later, a certain Robert de Boron presented a sacred history linking it back to Jesus, and it was from this point that it began to be called the Holy Grail. Its mystical nature became popular, and the story spread throughout Europe, making the primary goal of King Arthur's knights to obtain the Holy Grail. According to scholars, the sacred chalice was believed to have been in the possession of Joseph of Arimathea. Before it found its way to Europe, Joseph of Arimathea, who was previously known as Joseph de Marmor from the region of Marmorica in Egypt, was believed to have held the chalice. Although many accounts associate him with various roles, including being the uncle of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and a member of the Sanhedrin, the council of priests responsible for Jesus' death, his story is most notable in the New Testament. In the New Testament, Joseph of Arimathea approached Pilate to request Jesus' body, which he then wrapped in a linen cloth and placed in a tomb carved out of rock. This has led to numerous questions and debates among religious scholars and experts about the whereabouts of the mystical chalice. After that event, Joseph traveled to the island of Britain. Joseph hid the chalice in the area of Glastonbury, beneath a deep well now known as the Chalice Well in Somerset, England. According to legend, anyone who drinks the water from the well will gain an extraordinarily long life. However, it wasn't long before other groups came into possession of the chalice, continuing the relentless search for the Holy Grail. Studies suggest various accounts regarding its whereabouts. One such claim is that the Chapel of the Holy Chalice in Spain houses the sacred chalice. It is believed that the chalice was crafted in the Middle East around the 3rd century BC, before it came into the possession of the disciples during the Passover. However, this does not necessarily mean it is the chalice from the Last Supper. This is because many chalices existed during the time of the disciples. Another report suggests that France is also believed to harbor the said chalice, specifically in what is now known as the Château de Montségur, a famous site associated with the Cathars, a religious group that emerged in southern France during the 12th century. Additionally, Nazi Germany soldiers ventured to this location in search of the sacred chalice. On the other hand, the Rosslyn Chapel has also been mentioned in connection with the Holy Grail. The Illuminati and Freemasons have been linked to the chalice, with claims that they are currently its guardians. Therefore, if we believe all the statements about the whereabouts of the chalice, it is no doubt that one would be confused in the search for the truth. Whether the Holy Grail is in France, Spain, or England, wouldn't it be better if it were in no one's possession? After all, who among the sinful has the right to claim something that belongs to Jesus? This serves as a reminder to everyone that objects believed to have been used by the Lord may not need to be sought after or found. Perhaps it is enough that the mystical chalice serves as proof of his presence on earth and the remarkable deeds he performed during his life. And perhaps, what is more important now, especially in times of crisis, people should remember the reason for Jesus' coming and his words to provide strength to those who are suffering and on the brink of losing hope. In the end, the Holy Grail remains a symbol of the eternal quest for spiritual knowledge, salvation, and holiness. Though many legends and stories link this sacred chalice to various characters and places, the true meaning of the Holy Grail goes deeper than literal interpretations. It reflects humanity's dream of achieving the highest form of spiritual fulfillment and communion with the divine.